let's take a look. Are we going? And away we go. Hello, guys. Good morning. My name is Andrew. This is the Ugly Week in Review. Let's see, for March 9th, 2024 at 6:36 a.m. Central Standard Time. Good morning. Hello. Thank you for joining me if you are here. How are you? The show is starting at a different time, and we had a hiatus last week for a few things. We're going to get into it. I'll let you know what's going on and everything, but we got a lot to talk about. We're going to jump right into it real quick as soon as I update the description of the stream here. It's the Ugly Week in Review, and we are covering, let me double check my dates. We are going to be covering March 2nd through March 8th, so let's go ahead and update the description. How you guys doing? I was doing a little show prep this morning, and it got kind of out of hand, but I wanted to do some show prep because I felt like I was all over the place, and I want to give you guys a good product, and I want to get better at this. This is something I enjoy doing, and it's something I want to practice, something I want to get into, and I would like the channel to grow, and that's not going to happen if I'm just half-assing things, and I don't want to half-ass this. I'm just kind of, learning as I go, because I don't know what I'm doing. If you think I know what I'm doing, I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. I'll worry about that later. Let's save. I'll worry about that later. Let's see. We're gonna jump right into it though. And I'm going to jump right into it with a few things. Blah 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 blah. Make sure, is that camera angle good? Does the camera look good? I switched things up. I switched things around. I moved the desk over a little bit closer to the window. God, this camera angle. You know what? I don't know what's going on with. There's my Logitune. But it's like I can now it looks better. It's like this can only, my Logitune app has to be open for it to look this good. That shouldn't be the case, though. It should just look good. No, I don't need help, you son of a bitch. Go away. That angle's pretty good. The quality, just fuck it, whatever. Fuck it. Let's just get into it, guys. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to start the day off with a few in memoriam, though. So I'm sure you've all heard that. Where's it at? That ain't it. That's the wrong one. I don't know if you noticed that. That ain't it. That ain't it. I think I know by process of elimination. That ain't it either. This is it. Jesus Christ. I'm lucky if I can remember my name. But guys, we'll start in memoriam. I don't know if you've heard, but of course, Dragon Ball, I'm sure you have heard. This is bounding into comics. Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama passes away at the age of 68 from reported acute subdural hematoma. If you don't know, Dragon Ball was... Here's what Dragon Ball was to me. When I was in junior high... Was it junior high? I was in art class. It was either junior high or my freshman year of high school. I was in art class, and I was in a class with a kid named Victor Bonita. And he was a great kid, real nice. He was very talented artistically, and we... not autistically, maybe autistically, but artistically for sure. And we were in art class, and we were just doing a project or something. And I looked over, and he was drawing Goku. And I thought it was really cool. I was like, dude, you have to show me how to draw Goku. And he taught me how to draw Dragon Ball characters. And so instead of doing our homework, doing our assignments in class, we ended up just drawing Dragon Ball characters all day and just talking about like Dragon Ball fan fiction. I had never heard of it before, but once he taught me how to draw it, I was like, well, where is this? And he told me about it on Cartoon Network. So I started going home after school and watching Dragon Ball on Cartoon Network. And of course, it ended up, it was on, what was the late night? Toonami. It was on Toonami, and then they started putting it on some channels in the afternoon. They would boot like back-to-back episodes. I think where I was, it was like 3:30 in the afternoon. I think it was like maybe like 3 to 4 in the afternoon, so I could catch like an episode and a half. I think that was it. But I ended up learning how to draw Dragon Ball characters from my friend Victor Benita, the Mexican kid, Spanish kid or Latin American kid. And we had a great time just drawing and talking about those things. And that's how I got into enjoying Dragon. I'm not like a hardcore fan or anything like that, but that was my experience with Dragon Ball Z. And if anything, that is proof that this touched so many people. And this was shared among so many people from so many different cultures and backgrounds and races and all over the world. A politician in China took a moment to recognize Akira Toriyama, and the outpouring of love and support for everyone has just been great, terrific. So you can really see how many people this guy touched with his work, and how important he was to everyone. And that's the strength of a good story, right? That's the strength of a good, heartfelt, meaningful story, something that a man loved and put all of his heart and passion, all of his soul into, and people could feel it, and people appreciated it, and people loved it, and they shared it. And that's about all you can ask, right? When you're a creative, when you're creating something, and you see all the people who share it and love it, and it brings people together, that's about all you can ask. And he did that for millions of people, millions and millions of people. That is the beauty of storytelling and creativity. That's the beauty of it all. Storytelling brings people together, and nobody cared what the people looked like on screen. Nobody cared. And nobody does care, because it doesn't matter. That's the beauty of good storytelling. Let's see. In a moment that truly no fan ever really fathomed would come, famed Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama has passed on to the other world. Yeah. And this is the memo from Bird Studio announcing the passing. I can read this real quick. Dear friends and partners, we are deeply saddened to inform you that the manga creator Akira Toriyama passed away on March 1st due to acute subdural hematoma. He was in age of 68, and this is written in Japan, of course. It's our deep regret that he still had several works in the middle of creation with great enthusiasm. Also, he would have many more things to achieve. However, he has left many manga titles and works of art to this world. Thanks to the support of so many people around the world, he has been able to continue his creative activities for over 45 years. We hope that Akira Toriyama's unique world of creation continues to be loved by everyone for a long time to come. We inform you this sad news with gratefulness for your kindness during his lifetime. And then it goes on to speak of funeral services, future plan for commemoratives, gathering, and okay, that's... Yeah. So yeah. Man had a dream to share his creation and his story with the world. And he did that. Brought millions of people together. And like I said, that's about all you can ask. So rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. You meant a lot to a lot of people. You really did. And sticking kind of with this theme, and we'll get on to happy stuff, guys, I promise. But I also wanted to give a shout out to... Hold on a second. Let me find the right photo. Hold on a second, guys. I also wanted to give a shout... Hold on. I want to make sure that I'm not... Okay. We had a good flow going there for a minute. Excuse me. I wanted to give a shout out to... Hold on on a second. Let me get the right photo here, guys. It's on here somewhere. I wanted to give a big shout out to this guy. This is Cato. And Cato was our senior dog. And Cato passed away this past weekend. He passed away a week ago today at the age, it was a few days after his technically 11th birthday, but that was based off the age that the shelter had said, you know. And when my wife adopted him some years ago, the shelter had stated that he was probably, I think at the time they said he was 3, but shelters, like, everyone, the official age was 3, but everyone at at the shelter and everyone who knew him said he's probably like a year or two older. So although he passed away just a few days after his 11th birthday, we were pretty sure he was probably like 12 or 13. I mean, he was a wonderful old dog. He was the nicest, kindest dog I have ever known, I have ever met. He had the kindest eyes. He always had the biggest smile. And he never met a person that he didn't love. And I mean love. He loved going to the vet. He loved going to the vet because he knew he would meet more people. Like, when I would take him to the vet, you go to our vet, and they've got, you know, the front office window, and then off to the side, there's the open doorway, you know, kind of like that old, maybe like 70s, 80s traditional kind of structure. And he'd get there, and as soon as he was in, he'd run through the door, and he'd jump up into one of their office chairs, and he'd be like spinning around, you know, and he would just be wagging his tail and trying to give everyone kisses and stuff. And every single time we'd go to the vet would always say, he's the sweetest dog we've ever met. We love him so much. We can't wait to see him again. He was always happy, always happy. I got to know him for about 5 years, ever since my wife and I were together. And I loved every single moment of it. And I miss him so much. And I love him so much. I miss our walks, and I miss his clever persistence for treats. And I just missed his pleasant demeanor. He was always happy. Love you, buddy. Your mama and I love you so much, and we miss you. We miss you so much. Rest in peace. And if anyone out there is thinking about adopting a dog, I would highly encourage you to adopt a senior dog. They can be sometimes a little trickier just because they may have health issues, and it can be difficult because they aren't going to be around nearly as long. You only have them for a couple of years. But they're housebroken. They're very, their temperament is very good. They're usually just ready to relax and hang out and go on walks and get belly rubs and stuff. They usually don't jump around and freak out about a whole lot of stuff. You know, they're set in their ways. So in that regard, they're a lot easier to care for, right? And again, they're housebroken and stuff, so they don't tear shit up or anything. They're just looking for someone to chill with. They're just looking for a warm bed, some belly rubs and a walk, and someone to hang out with. So if you guys are ever considering adopting a dog, I would highly encourage you to look at adopting a senior dog. It can be incredibly rewarding. Dogs are just great. Cats are okay. I'd rather have a pig than a cat. Like a potbelly pig. Cato was kind of like a potbelly pig. He ate a lot. Rest in peace, buddy. I love you so much. Okay, now we got that out of the way. Let's get some levity in here. I don't know if you've seen this, but have you seen this Austin City Council meeting thing? Have you seen this? So I'm going to set the stage for you here. In Austin City, Texas, they're having a city hall meeting, and there are some Google employees in Austin, and they work for Google Music, and they came to the city hall, and they got their time, their 2 or 3 minutes or whatever, And this guy's getting up there trying to convince the city why it's a good idea they should unionize, because all young people want to unionize now because they're retarded and they don't understand that unions are going to help destroy the business they're working for, and that the business they're working for hates unions and probably doesn't want them to work there anymore. And probably will end up just firing you, but at the very least will cut into the effectiveness of the business, which will damage everyone. If you want to unionize, fine. I don't care. But don't be surprised when your employer starts to fall apart and things get more difficult for everyone. Because a union is just another way of getting another boss, someone who has their own self-serving interests, and just collects money from you. You have to pay fees to another person who gets to tell you what to do. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to vote for this. Well, we're not going to vote for this. You're going to do this. You're not going to do this. It's like, is that really what you want? You know what I want with my employer? I want a straight up contract. It's like, I'm going to sign this contract to agree to do a job. You are going to agree to your end of the contract to give me my pay that we agreed to on time, any benefits that we agreed to when I need them, the time off when I want it that we agreed to. And I won't start any bullshit and you don't start any bullshit. And we'll get along and we'll do a great job. You shake hands and you move on. You start work. People are like, yeah, but employers take advantage of people. Well, then don't work there. It's like, well, there's not enough jobs to go. There are millions of job openings all over the place. But the minimum wage... I'm going to get into a minimum wage discussion with you right now. If you don't understand free market economics, that is not a valid argument against free market economics. Raising the minimum wage destroys everything, right? Because Anyway. Unions, minimum wage. It's a completely different discussion. There's another can of worms that I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. Again, your inability to understand free market economics is not a valid argument against free market economics. Anyway, let's
motivation to keep this fight going.
There we go. Okay. Oh no, that's not the one I want because I didn't want the. Here we go. Okay. Let's So this guy is up there arguing for it.
So to be
oh, where's my
supported by the
sound?
city of Boston.
Where's my sound? There. This guy is up there arguing to be supported by the city of Austin to form a union under Google. And while he's up there talking, you know, he's got his teammates in the back. He's got his teammates in the back. And watch this.
And also our allies in the labor community give us the motivation to keep this fight
Not
going.
to interrupt, but they just laid us all off.
Oh.
Yeah, they just laid us all off.
We just all, I guess we just all
Our
got
jobs are ended today, effective immediately.
Wow.
I'm sorry your time's expired, but we'll follow up on this. Thank you.
So to be supported by the city of Boston.
All right. Did you? That is exquisite comedic timing. Exquisite. You could not have scripted that better. Oh my God. All right.
And also our allies
volume
in
on
the labor community give us the motivation to keep this fight
Because
going.
that might be loud
But
for
they
you
just
guys. I'm
laid us
gonna.
all off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So.
They just laid us all off.
So to be supported.
So this guy's up here talking, and his friend, this woman's going to come up from behind to let him know that they just got an email or a text or something that said we're all laid off, and listen to how distraught she is. Like, she cannot believe that they got fired. She can't believe it.
By the city of Boston and also our allies in the labor community give us the motivation to keep this fight
Not
going.
to interrupt, but they just laid us all off.
You're quivering.
Oh.
Yeah, they just laid us all off.
We just all, I guess we just all
Our
got
jobs are ended today.
Now, again, right? I understand the shock she's going through. Okay, if she got fired, she's probably 23 or 4. And this is probably like the first, big job that she's ever had. Big company working for Google and whatnot. So this is a shock to the system, right? And she's probably someone who's never been told no before. She's probably gotten everything that she's ever wanted in her life. That's most of these kids, most of these, champagne socialist Marxists are usually just spoiled rich kids who think they know better, but they don't because they don't know anything about the real world. Yeah, Marxism is the lamentation of spoiled rich kids. Lamenting for some kind of better world that they have in thought, but they don't actually have in reality. It's not something they can prove works or has ever existed effectively, unless the effectiveness of Marxism is measured in the number of people that it kills. Then it could be measured effectively. But anyway, she's shocked, right? And she's like, our jobs are ended today. You got fired. You got fired. You were not executed. You got fired. And then...
Immediately.
Wow.
I'm sorry your time's expired, but we'll follow up.
It's just a kick in the dick. It's just a kick in the dick. His face is like, oh. What? Did I get fired? Did they run the bell on me? Oh.
I'm sorry your time's expired.
Oh, no,
but
hold on.
Jobs are ended today.
Watch his face.
Effective immediately.
Wow.
I'm sorry your time's expired, but we'll follow up.
I'm going to watch
on
that one
this.
more time.
Thank you.
Just,
Our jobs are
wow.
ended today. Effective immediately.
Wow.
I'm sorry your time's expired, but we'll follow up.
He doesn't know
on
what,
this.
he's like,
Thank
okay,
you.
I guess I'll fuck off.
So to be
I
supported,
guess I'll sit down. Oh my God. It's so funny. It's so damn funny. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Go try to get into a... If you want to get into a union, go try to be a laborer. Go try to get into like a plumber's union. Go get into an electrician's union. You'll be doing something useful, something that people will need and use for the rest of time. You will always have work. Go do that. My nephew-in-law, actually, I was ecstatic. I was thrilled to hear this. He decided to not go to college. He lives out in Arizona. He decided to not go to college. He actually got into a plumber's trade school and union. And that's so awesome. I am so happy to have heard that, to know that is reality and exists. Why am I talking like this? What's he doing? Good question. Seriously, that's just wonderful news. I'm so happy. I'm so happy about that. And his mom and his stepdad were kind of, I don't know. I think they probably imagined him going and getting a big fancy degree, but big fancy degrees don't get you anything these days except a bunch of debt. In my case, it got me a bunch of debt and addiction. Boy, wasn't that fun. I'm drinking an energy powder mix. That's what it is. It's nothing fancy. It's not tea or anything. But there you go. There's a little levity for you. I thought that was freaking hilarious. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going for about 25 minutes here. Good connection. That's nice. Everything's going smooth so far. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to run to the restroom. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. And then when we get back, we're going to jump into the main thrust of everything, into the meat and potatoes of this stream. And it's going to be the usual that everyone's been talking about for a while now. It's going to be the Sweet Baby Inc. DEI, die, kill me, I want to die bullshit. And we're going to get into that. So I will, I'm just going to go hit the head real quick. And then we'll jump in. We've got plenty of stuff. I've got some more funny stuff to get into. Like what the fuck? Here, I'll give you a little list. I made a little list. I actually did show prep. Incredible. We're going to get into Sweet Baby Inc. We're going to get into Dakota Johnson and Sweeney making comments about Madam Web and sounding really cool. We're going to get into some DEI sensitivity spell checking. Brought to you by Gina Davis, another Hollywood strike, and then, of course, some proof that diversity and inclusion is going to kill us all. Not only that, we're going to talk about people wanting to ban TikTok, a new trend on TikTok called chroming, and Zack Snyder hates Batman. And I hate Zack Snyder. And if you've seen my Rebel Moon video, you might know that. You should go watch that. After this, go like and subscribe. But I'll be right back, guys, and we'll get back into the meat and potatoes. I'll be right back. All right, howdly doodly. Doodly doodly. Howdly boodly. The capital of Djibouti is Djibouti. Joe Booty. Joe's booty. All right, we're back. So let's get back into the meat and potato thing. Again, coming up, we've got Dakota Johnson and Sweeney. We've got diversity and inclusion killing people, and we have of course we have our Anita Sarkeesian marrying herself on her birthday or some shit. What is wrong with these people? Oh, and the new Superman is supposedly going to cost like $380 million or some shit. I'm telling you, these studios are money laundering. Prove me wrong. Convince me otherwise. Where's the fucking money going? How's the camera angle on this? Is it okay? Let's double check one time. What's going on here? I don't want... Okay. Let's check the camera angle. I just want to make sure it looks good. I mean, I know I look good. I don't want to make sure it looks good for you. It's part of my humble charm. You're welcome. All right, let's get this douchebag off the screen. Sweet Baby Inc. So let's get into this. If you don't know what's going on with Sweet Baby Inc., and I imagine you do by now, and I just got a few articles pulled up here because I'm gonna vamp. I'm gonna do this. I know it. Let's start here. So if you don't know what's going on, I imagine you do. This is the Steam group of Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. Now, what this is a group. I don't know. Something's going on with this group, too, because, yeah, it looks like it was... Anyway, let me get into it first, okay? So, there we go. Sweet Baby Inc. is a group that was started by a Brazilian gamer. Guys, I'm not real well-versed with Steam. I play some games every now and then, but nothing crazy, so my navigation of this site is poor, to say the least. But what they've done is, let me back up a little bit. Sweet Baby Inc. is a, quote, video game narrative company. And what they do is they basically convince video game developing companies, video game companies, to hire them to help do sensitivity readings for their narrative. Now, they sell themselves as just like a narrative design. So, hey, we'll come in, we'll look at your story, and we'll help design the narrative. We'll help, get a flow of things. While at the same time, we're going to make sure that it's diverse and inclusion and accepting of, all sort of everyone, and that it's representative of everyone. So what they'll do is they'll do these like sensitivity readings, right? And they'll say, well, you need, they'll have a black person, like a black woman, of course, review the story. And they'll say, okay, now you need more black women here, here, and here. And then they'll have a gay person review the story. And they'll say, well, you need to have more gay people here, here, and here. And then they'll just keep doing that over and over until it's diverse and inclusive and accepting and representative of as many people they want it to be. Basically, it's diversity and inclusion bullshit, right? That's all it is. They're just getting paid to inject their ideology into stuff. The ESG, right? And all of these video game companies, they're taking the BlackRock ESG money. They're getting cheap loans to do these big, these $100 million games, these $200 million games. And part of the terms of them accepting that BlackRock money is they have to participate in ESG. So then they bring in a group like Sweet Baby Inc. to help them get ESG into their game so they get a better ESG score so they get more money from BlackRock. That's exactly what's happening. BlackRock says, we'll give you money if you go woke. Video game company hires Sweet Baby Inc. to help them go woke. And I don't know if you've noticed, but some of the games that Sweet Baby Inc. has been working on, like, Suicide Squad has been a dumpster fire, right? Let's see if they got it here. Now, Sweet Baby Inc. has been... Let's just go. See, I'm not going to go back on the whole thing because I'm sure you all know kind of like the foundation of this story. But Sweet Baby Inc. has been under a lot of scrutiny lately for some of their woke ideology and everything. And some of the comments that have come out from their CEO and some of the people that they've worked with. Now, I don't, this is one thing that I didn't have pulled up. I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I guess I should do even more show prep, which is true. I should. But let's say, let me look for it real quick. Let's say, I'm, because they're, let's see. Let's do Sweet Baby Inc. Someone's going to have it somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. Now the flow's broken. I'm sorry, guys. But basically, Sweet Baby, their creator came out and has said stuff like, you can't be racist towards white people. White people can't experience racism. They've come out and, I know what it was. Let me look something up real quick. That one of the CEO, the president, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she had come out. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Some on Fandom Pulse. I hope they got the video of this. But basically, Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair speech urged employees to terrify video game companies if they don't give you what they want. Now, there's the article, but I really want to find the video of this because I want to show you. I want to show you exactly. I want to show you this woman saying it herself. So, let's see. Terrify them. Here's a picture of the video. Damn it, come on. Oh, I don't want this whole thing. I don't want the whole panel. Okay, I don't want you guys to be waiting so far, but here's another one. That's that Park Place. Oh, good. So let's just look at a few articles then of Kim Belair, who is the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc. Let me pull these over here real quick. So from Fandom Pulse, Sweet Baby Inc. I want to go over a little bit of this because I want you to really understand how shitty these people are, how terrible these people are. These people are working on some of the biggest video games from the biggest AAA studios. Okay, so Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair's speech urged employees to terrify video game companies if they don't give you what they want. CEO Kim Belair makes it clear the purpose is to forget about gamers entirely and terrorize video game companies in a statement found on Twitter X. It highlights their entire philosophy in a way which shows they shouldn't be involved in any productions. Very true. I'm going to go into a little bit here. So, Sweet Baby Inc. garnered attention due to its involvement with the latest Rocksteady game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Much of the game's content was criticized for its lack of respect toward the source material. The company has been associated with several other controversial games, including Starfield, Forspoken, which I think shut down a studio, Gotham Knights, Spider-Man 2, which has lost money, I'm pretty sure, and the reboot of Saints Row, which was a dumpster fire, which led to the closure of its development studio. Yeah, there you go. So there it is. A Steam user, Cabrutus, created a Steam curator list titled Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, which list tracks the games that Sweet Baby Inc. is involved with and does not recommend them to followers, okay? Now, that's the group I just showed you. So, and it has 237,000 followers. I think earlier in the week it had under 100,000. And then all of these Sweet Baby people, Sweet Baby Inc. pieces of shit, started talking about it, and it basically had the Streisand effect, and now there's over 235,000 followers, 237,523 to be exact, and they're losing their minds. But let's go back to the article real quick. So let's get into why they're so shitty. So we'll just go through this whole article here. I hope Fandom Pulse doesn't mind. Subsequently, let's see, an employee of Sweet Baby Inc., Chris Kindred, made attempts to have Cabrutus and his Steam curator list titled Sweet Baby Inc. Detected removed. Kindred took to X to voice his concerns, stating, the Steam curator harassment group, Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, is led by this person, Kabrutsurambo. Here's them trying to be slick so they don't get reported. Even with the discriminatory language filed off, the group itself still fails the code of conduct. Kindred then urged others to report the group, saying, anyway, report the group, and concluded with, and the reporter creator since he loves this account so much. So basically, here's what's happening. These shitbags of Sweet Baby Inc., who are destroying video games, people have found them out, right? They've been found out, and people don't like it. People are now saying, I don't want anything to do with a game that has Sweet Baby Inc. because I know it's going to be shit, and I don't want to spend $70, $80, $90 on an advanced release for Starfield if it's going to be shit. So I'm not going to buy it. So now Sweet Baby Inc. is saying, oh, well, we don't want people to know what games we're working on because we want people to buy those games. Now think about that for a moment. These Sweet Baby Inc. people go all over the place, all over social media. They go to all sorts of gatherings. They go to all sorts of speaking engagements and whatnot. They take all of that ESG money from all of these companies to go into those company offices and give great big speeches and presentations on why what they are doing is so good and right and true. Our ideology is good because it's fighting bigotry, and we're fighting for democracy for people, and we're fighting for the rights of gays and women and people of color, and this is exactly, we are on the right side of history. Blah! So why are you hiding? Why don't you want people to know what you're working on? I would think you would love this. I would think you would want to shout this from the rooftops. Why not? You're so proud of what you do. You believe in what you are doing is good and true and right. I would think you'd be thrilled. You would want to promote this page. I would. If this were my company, I'd be like, yeah, go for it. So why don't you want people knowing what you're doing? It's almost like you're lying. It's almost like you're hiding your agenda. Why would you be hiding your agenda? Don't you believe in it? Isn't it a good agenda? Aren't you on the right side of history? No? You're not? Oh. Oh, you're actually the bigot? You're actually the racist? You're the sexist? Oh. You're a Marxist. Marxism cannot stand up in the light of truth. They're running from the truth. Their lie has been called out and exposed. This is how Marxism operates. It cannot operate in the light of truth. And all this person is doing on Steam is telling the truth. That's all they're doing. They're saying, here, these are the games they work on. Do with that information what you will. I mean, this person isn't even calling them out. This person isn't even like saying, oh, I hate this person, I hate that person. They're not using any kind of discriminatory, any kind of aggressive language whatsoever in their post or anything. Here, we'll look right at it. Sweet Baby Inc. detected reviews. A tracker for games involved with Sweet Baby Inc. Overview. For letting people know if a game is involved with this company. We'll even just read this. It's a good day. Well, my friends, 3 days ago I got a message from Steam support that this group was receiving too many reports and flags because there was a mass flagging requested by Sweet Baby Inc., and it could result into the group and curator getting deleted. And since that day, I've been talking to the Steam support and making sure that we were following Steam's terms of service. So I had to delete every single discussion thread with the help of the other mods, and I couldn't thank them enough for the help. Since now we are in good terms with Steam, and I decided to lock new threads to prevent the worst. If you want to just chat, use the Steam chat or join our Discord server. That's all for now, folks. Thumbs up. And then everything else is locked. There's not even anything else going on. That's it. That's it. That's all this is. And good on Steam. Look, good on Steam for... I understand why he locked the threads. He doesn't want to risk anything, right? He's just making a list. He's not telling people what to do. Nothing. Good on Steam for saying, yeah, we understand. Sounds like there was a good mutual agreement here. Steam said, look, make your list. Let's not get too crazy with comments or calling people out or anything like that. And Curator said, yeah, okay, as long as I'm doing that, you better not take this down. And Steam was like, no. So, okay, fine, fair enough. But let's go back. Again, why are you hiding? Now people have found video clips of the CEO Sweet Baby Inc. Kim Belair showing that bullying and terrorist tactics is nothing new to Sweet Baby Inc. Oh, maybe that's why you're hiding. Ugh. Posting a clip from a game developers conference, ex-user GamesNosh exposed Kim Belair. The co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., Kim Belair, proudly explains the method she uses to force bosses at game studios to censor, alter, and diversify game projects that she feels are problematic. Terrify them, aka threaten them with the anger of the cancel culture mob. Let's take a look.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Guffaw? What? Terrify them with the possibility of what will happen if they don't give you what you want? What? Let's hear that again.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years,
Yeah.
put this stuff up to your higher ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
My first thought is, are you a fucking child? And the answer is yes. They are. They're children. They act like children. They have the mind of children. The minds of children. Terrify them. Threaten them of what will happen if they don't give you what you want. Let's look something up real quick. What's the definition of terrorism? The one, noun, terrorism. Noun, the use of violence or the threat of violence, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political goals. Not exactly that. The act of terrorizing or state of being terrorized, a mode of government by terror or intimidation. The practice of coercing governments to accede to political demands by committing violence on civilian targets. The deliberate commission acts of violence to create an emotional response through the suffering of victims. Let's see. Oh, this might be closer. A psychological strategy of war for gaining political or religious ends by deliberately creating a climate of fear. The calculated use of violence or threat of violence against people in order to attain goals that are political or religious or ideological in nature. This is done through intimidation or coercion or instilling fear.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
I mean, she said the word terrify them. She is a corporate terrorist. She is literally using terrorist tactics. Look, these people are kind of militant in their religious worship of this ideological bullshit, because they get religious about it, right? The reason that religion, the way that religion works so well on so many people is that most people in the world don't have a very high IQ. That's just reality, right? Most people in the world just don't have a very high IQ. And they don't, not only do they not have a high, like a psychological or book intelligence or, problem solving intelligence, a lot of people don't have a very high degree of emotional intelligence. And when you're not able to really discern through facts and reality logically, and when you're not able to balance yourself emotionally and kind of, skillfully ride the wave of the ups and downs of feelings, then you're more susceptible to brainwashing. You are more susceptible to outside influence, because you're psychologically, you're emotionally, you're spiritually upended, and you don't really know which way to go when you don't have an anchor. So then when something like religion comes along, it sounds very nice and very soft and very fair and agreeable. And it's like, if you just do the little bit of this, you'll have a wonderful utopia. You'll have the kingdom of heaven. You'll have this, that, or the other. I'm not really bashing religion. You religious, I do your thing. I don't care. This is not really about that. But religion works in a way where it promises you all these wonderful things if you just give over your soul, right? And you're doing it for the good of everyone, right? When you go into Christianity, they say, well, Jesus will save everyone. Jesus is our Father. Jesus will do everything. If everyone just turns to Jesus, if you give your soul over to God and Jesus, then it will be heaven on earth. Everything will be beautiful and wonderful and all of this, but everyone has to agree with this, right? This is the same thing. This woke ideology is the same thing, and it works on the same kind of people. These are the same people where if Christianity were more prevalent today, if it were being pushed more so than this ideology, they would probably be Christians. Or at least think themselves Christians, right? Through the brainwashing and whatnot. It works the same way. So these people get very militant in their worship of ideology, right? They may not have good reasons to believe this, and they don't have good reasons to believe this, but they believe it. So when she says something like terrorize, she means it. She means it. She has no problem. She has zero problem threatening or intimidating people. None. Because she believes in her heart, in her mind, that she's on the right side of history and that they have to do anything, whatever it takes, to make sure that everything is equal and diverse and inclusive. They believe this shit. Right? And it's all the more reason to not participate in their madness. Because if something is that dangerous where you don't have like a logical A to B to C of why it makes sense and why people should do it, boy, it's dangerous, man. And you don't want anything to do with it. Because eventually the crowd gets so big that if you got into the middle of that, eventually you're going to be standing in the middle going, wait, why are we here? What are we doing? And no one will actually know the real reason of what you're doing. And before you know it, your leaders have turned on you. That's Marxism. That's communism for you. And then it's either train A, B, C, or D. And you don't get to choose. And now they're coming for the gun owners. It begins. They're awful, aren't they? So, man, I really got off on a tangent there, didn't I? So we were talking about that. But there you go. And now, let's just keep going because this is keeping me on track quite a bit. In the full video clip, Kim Belair makes clear that Sweet Baby Inc. game dev philosophy is to forget about the core audience, force diversity into games, sneak it in there if necessary, and use terror tactics and threats if you don't get your way. Kim Belair said at the conference, create moments that are intentionally targeted and designed to create joy in the marginalized. They are going to appreciate this on a level that your core audience won't. But it doesn't mean you're going to exclude your core audience. She continued, also, God, she's hideous. Also, don't fall into this trap that I think a lot of people fall into, which is they think, okay, don't worry, we can include everyone by making this like a single default universal experience that is universally representative. What? Because usually, like, all that means, as it did in the dating example, is that you're aiming at your core demographic and you're probably invisibly leaning towards the dominant societal voice. Even if you don't realize it, this is just nonsensical ideological rambling. And if you're in development or you are part of that dominant voice, you're like a cis hetero white dude or just adjacent to that, do not wait until the end to call your consultants. Bring them in at the beginning. Jesus Christ. You know what? Be interesting, since they hate straight white men so much. I think it would be an interesting experiment if all the straight white men quit all of the big game developers and formed their own big game developing company. And then we can give Ubisoft, and we can give Microsoft, and we can give Sony, and we can give Rocksteady, we can give all of these AAA studios. Sure, give them to the diverse crowd. And then you guys can put all of the straight white guys over in their own camp where they'll build their own game over there, and they won't bother you. They won't bother you one bit. And we'll see who wins. If that's what you want, let's do it. Let's do it. See what happens. She added, and instead of asking them, hey, is this very racist thing we did very racist, or is this deeply offensive thing we did deeply offensive? Are you hurt by it? And then say, I don't care. Ask them what they want to see. Like, ask them what would thrill them, what would bring them joy. And if you have a team lead, put that request to them very, very early. This is just, I think you get the point. I think you get the point. What a mess. What a fucking disaster. But, oh, that's where we're going with this. So the gentleman here made this curated list of the Sweet Baby, and it's got 237,000 followers, and that's great. That's wonderful. Sweet Baby Inc. is going to the trash bin of history, as that previous comment just said. They're going to go to the trash bin of history, but what will happen is they'll dissolve, or they'll change company names. They'll lay low for a little while, and then they'll come back as some other company, and then we'll start this whole song and dance all over again. That's exactly what will happen. We'll start this whole song and dance all over again. And some people, well, let's just go on from there. So, one thing, where was that leading? Oh, yeah. So then the mainstream press came out in full force. Kotaku, PC Gamer came out in full force to defend. And I had posted something on Twitter for PC Gamer. I'm not going to go with it, but I basically asked PC Gamer, I was like, why do you guys keep posting? Like, I mean, like, I'm not trying to be a smart ass here. Well, I am, but like, as a serious question, why do you guys keep posting? Like, nobody takes you seriously. All of the comments I see in your Twitter, everyone is just like, why? We don't believe you. Nobody likes you. Go away. Like, why do you still do it? It's just, is AI actually just typing the articles, collecting photos, and then just churning stuff out? I don't think so, but let's see. Do you want another Gamergate? Because this is Bounding into Comics, excuse me, by Spencer Bakuli. I apologize. Do you want another Gamergate? Because this is how you get another Gamergate. To the surprise of no one, the mainstream press, as well as members of the overall Western video game industry, have responded to the recent and well-deserved scrutiny leveled at the work of inclusion-focused narrative consulting company Sweet Baby Inc. by doing their best to run defense for their ideological allies. The circling the wagons around Sweet Baby Inc. first kicked off on March 6th when Kotaku published a piece by site senior editor Alyssa Mercante headlined, Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers think it does. Right, it does far worse. Therein, Mercanti not only attempted to play shocked victim after she was kicked from the Discord server for the Sweet Baby Inc. detected, whilst trying to dig up dirt on the company's detractors, but attempted to portray the consultation company's DEI work, despite it being highlighted at nearly every single turn on their official website, as nothing more than a minuscule, insignificant part of their operation. Sweet Baby Inc. ensure a game's plot points make logical sense and are satisfying to players, and that characters speak and behave in consistent ways. I can stop right there and understand that and just tell you that that's bullshit. If you know anything about what has happened to the Suicide Squad game, it is in no way logical or satisfying or consistent. None. No way. I didn't even play the game. I just watched people playing it for like 12 hours. I just watched. I was like, I'm not going to play this, but I'll watch everything. So I can't speak to the gameplay, but I can certainly speak to the narrative and the story and the dialogue. And the UI looks like shit. It in no way is logical or anything. The narrative is so shit. It is full of all sorts of woke language. It is so incredibly disrespectful. The characters don't act like the characters that they were designed as from DC. And of course, people like Sweet Baby Inc., they don't care. They don't care. They see these characters as vehicles to push their message. right? They don't care about they don't care about lore. They don't care about canon. They don't care about any of that. What they see is they see something that is popular. They see something that people love, and they see that as a vehicle to get their ideology, to subvert things and get their ideology, sneak it in to all of the little bits and pieces of life that you love, all of your hobbies, all of the things where you might not think it would be. There it is, right? They tried to sneak it in. Now, we all know it's there now, but it starts, the way that this cultural Marxism works is it starts in the universities, right? It starts with academics, academic elites and higher ups and everything, because they get all big brains. They start huffing each other's farts, and they think that this stuff makes sense because they've justified taking drugs while they're working on the university campus, and they think that enlightens them. And, it's like, oh my God, look at me. I've got all of these certifications on the wall. Look at me. And they start huffing each other's farts, and they start talking about this shit, and they think it makes sense. And then they start pushing it on everyone else. But academia, liberal academia elitists, are so closely tied to entertainment. They're firstly tied to Hollywood, right? It's very closely aligned with Hollywood and the elites in Hollywood. And that just naturally found its way over to video games. They see all of this nothing more as a vehicle to push their ideology. They in no way, shape, or form care about making a good story. Even in the previous article, right? They had Kim Belair had admitted, she's like, we don't care about the story. It's about the message. It's about using this as a message, right? If your core, and she said, it's like, if your core audience doesn't like it, we don't care. We don't care one bit. It's about the marginalized groups. We don't care about the core audience. They'll buy it anyway, and if they don't like it, tough shit. That's basically what she said. And then they turn around and they wonder, it's like, well, why did then they try to justify all the stupid reasons that the game didn't sell or didn't work. They don't care. Let's see. Wrote the attack. Sweet Baby Inc. ensure a game's plot points make logical sense and are satisfying to players, and that the characters speak and behave in consistent ways. Bullshit, wrote the editor. Her use of vague and generic language, ostensibly meant to obfuscate the company's own self-declared mission to make the titles they work on more inclusive. Yes, that's the thing, right there. They will say, Sweet Baby Inc. says on their website that they're working to make things more inclusive and diverse. And they say it all the time. They use it in their language all the time. And this editor on Kotaku went out of her way to avoid using that language, because they know that when people see that woke language, they understand that story and character has been sacrificed at the altar of inclusivity. They don't believe in what they're doing. If you actually believe in what you're doing, why would you always tuck tail and run? They have no reality that can back up their position, and they know it. They have no logical argument. When you start asking just simple questions, they can't answer them because there's no reality to back this up. That means they ensure a game's plot points make logical sense and are satisfying to players, and characters speak and behave in a consistent. Narrative designers may also provide a final round of polish like a Hollywood script doctor. Following Kotaku stepping into the ring, and while Mercanti turned her attentions to denying the existence of anti-white racism and condescendingly writing off YouTuber Lorena Creole as a pick-me girl for daring to disagree with her, PC Gamer's Harvey Randall entered the fray the next day, writing a piece for the outlet which framed the backlash to Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement in recent titles as nothing more than infantile whining from the internet's worst actors. Jesus. In that sense, Sweet Baby's work is literally a non-event, said Randall. Not in the sense that it's unimportant. I mean that its work is so normal that it surprised no one. Really. Maybe it's normal to you. Yes, Sweet Baby explicitly consults on issues including the accurate representation of marginalized groups. That is what it helps with. But if that wasn't important to the people making the games they work on, then Sweet Baby Inc. wouldn't be hired. Okay. Now, you see what they're doing? Listen to that language right there. But if that wasn't important to the people making the games they work on, so what he's implying is that all of the devs, all of the people who are working at these big studios who hire Sweet Baby Inc., just because the CEO and the executives and all the stockholders insisted on the ESG money and insisted that Sweet Baby Inc. be brought in so they could all virtue signal, they're implying that everyone at the company wants to work with Sweet Baby Inc. and everyone at the company believes in this diversity and inclusivity and blah, 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 blah bullshit. I'm just getting sick and tired of saying all of it. It's so fucking, it's everywhere. I hate it. Hold on. So, in a roundabout way, then he's saying, if you don't like what Sweet Baby Inc. is doing, then you must be a bigot. It's the old standby. They did the same thing in Hollywood. Part of what they did when they made all the diversity and inclusion hires, they used it as a weapon, not only to spread their message, but to lash out at people. So that when you criticize, if you see, I mean, you've seen it everywhere. If you see, like The Woman King is a good example. I haven't seen The Woman King. I don't plan on seeing The Woman King. But Viola Davis came out and said, if you don't want to see The Woman King, well, then you just must be a racist sexist because it's a black woman as the lead. No, we don't want to see The Woman King because it's destroying history, it's lying, and it's a woke piece of shit. Why do I want to see The Woman King? It lies about history. All for the sake of saying, oh, I'm a strong diversity. But I must be a racist sexist because I don't want to see it. So they put people of color and they put women and they put gay people to the forefront. And when you criticize the game or the movie, it's not because you just didn't like the shitty product that they half-assed on. It's because you're a bigot. And they've always known it. They've always known you're a bigot. And then people, like Kotaku and PC Gamer, PC Magazine come out and attack you. And then they all wonder why they're failing. Then they all wonder, well, where did the customers go? Where did all the people go? Why do people hate us? Because you're retarded. In that sense, the Guardians Chasm escalated the fight even further. Okay, now they get into the Gamergate. 10 years ago, it was female game journalists and critics in the firing line. This time, it's narrative designers. But the conspiracist message is the same. Diversity has no place in... There you go. In the games. If you're a woman, queer, or a person of color working in this industry, you should expect the worst. From who? We're not the ones saying that. I highly doubt that as soon as a woman walks into a game studio, every single straight white man there begins sexually harassing her. I really doubt that. I highly doubt that when a gay person walks into one of these studios that they all just start throwing rocks at them. I highly doubt that happens. Same thing with any person of color who walks into one of these studios. You notice, like, they never bring evidence of this shit. There's never any receipts. None. All of the mental gymnastics they have to do to cook up this shit. Anyway, I don't know. I'm getting kind of off of it. Let's see. I'm getting kind of off of it here. But diversity and inclusion, let's see, where are we going here? Diversity and inclusion is going to kill us all, right? It's not only going to kill Hollywood. It's not only going to kill the video game industry. By the way, this is a wonderful opportunity for independent video game creators to step up and make a lot of money. That would be fantastic. That would be great. I highly encourage that. Who wouldn't? Okay, diversity and inclusion is going to kill us all. And I'll prove it. If I can find it. So, okay. So, of course, you all know about the airplanes, right? You all know about all of, United Airlines and everything. And rather than focusing on actually just doing a good job and having the best employee, they're busy making Twitter videos and TikTok videos about, oh my gosh, look, I'm the first woman. Oh my God, I'm the first black person. Oh my God, I'm the first this, that, and the other. That's great. Let's take a look at what's happening with the airplane. Oh, there's Pete Butt Guy. Piece of shit. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's loud. Sorry. Sorry, that's loud. If you didn't see this, just watch the... Oh, no. Oh, no. So this massive tire fell off this airplane, and that could have killed several people quite easily. Let's watch it again. Oops. Oops. Let's see. There was a couple more. Oh, this is... Damn it. Sorry. Very loud. This one slid off the runway. Gear collapse. Okay. And then there was one more. I'm not sure where it went. There was another one. But you notice how all of these airline companies are starting to focus more on just telling everyone how diverse and inclusive they are. And United Airlines even came out and said that they were focusing on just making it 50% women and 50% people of color. And you need to listen to the nuance of what I'm saying. You need to listen to the nuance of what I'm saying. Okay? It does not mean that you cannot hire people of color. It does not mean that you cannot hire women. It does not mean that you cannot hire gay people. But it does mean if you make that your priority over the best people, you are going to have some serious fucking problems. If you are sacrificing the best, most talented individuals just for the sake of virtue, like, what do you think is going to happen? And it is for the sake of virtue, right? Everyone always says diversity and inclusion and acceptance and all of this is the most important thing in our world. But no one ever tells us why. And when we ask why, they're like, well, these people are just as talented as everyone else. And we say, okay, they have the opportunity to prove it. That's what America is about. You get the opportunity to prove it if you come here legally. That's America, the land of opportunity. It's not the land of guarantees. It's not the land of everybody wins. It's the land of opportunity. So black people, gay people, women, Mexican people, Asian people, everyone, gay, Christian, Muslim, Jew, everyone who lives here has the exact same opportunity to apply for a job to be an airline pilot. But I don't know the first fucking thing about being an airline pilot. So if I apply, well, I'm a straight white male, so why bother? Anyone can apply. The person who knows how to fly the airplane and work on the airplane should be hired. I don't care if they're white or black or gay or straight. I don't care if they're purple, pink, polka dot and they come from Jupiter. I don't give a fuck. If they can fly that airplane better than anyone else, you're hired. If you don't know what you're doing, get the fuck out. Because it doesn't matter. Skin color doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. They want you to think it matters, right? It's almost like they want you to hold on to it as tightly as they do because they're so bigoted that they want to make sure that everyone else is just as bigoted as they are. Right? It's like a bully. It's almost exactly what it's like. It's like a bully who has to pick on people to bring them down a peg or two to make them as miserable as they are so that they can feel equal, right? Because they always feel less than everyone else anyway. So the only way, rather than actually improve themselves, they have to take everyone else and drag them down to their level. And we've just accepted this. Like this is what we're supposed to be doing. But what happens when you take society and drag it down? Well, things get worse. Fucking duh. And then people are shocked. It's like, well, what happened? What happened? That's like, I think it was Yale University. Yale University said they had eliminated their standardized testing requirements for getting into Yale. And then all of a sudden, their overall student GPA started dropping. Go figure. So what did they do? They reinstituted their standardized testing requirements. Because they looked around and went, oh, shit. We let in a bunch of stupid people. It's the same thing that's happening with the airlines, right? Except this is going to lead to a lot of people dying. And I guess nothing's going to change until one of these 737s falls out of the fucking sky and hits a school and kills 1,000 people. And then everyone will pound their fist on the table and say, how could this happen? Jesus Christ. I don't know. It's almost like we told you to hire the best people and you were like, that's stupid. We'll hire illegal aliens who don't speak our language and have a second grade education because diversity is our strength. Great. How did we get here? We were talking about the diversity and inclusion that's destroying Western civilization. And as you can see, it is quite literally destroying everything in Western civilization. I mean, maybe they knew what they were doing when they said DIE. Sure seems like it. Fuck, dude. All right, maybe we've sat on this for too long. Where are we going next? Let's see. There's a lot of things. I'm not going to go for too much longer here, guys. We all got stuff to do, don't we? What else do we got? Oh, I did want to touch on. Let's do this. So Sweeney, first, Sweeney. You're welcome, by the way. Sweeney. Presented without comment. You're welcome, by the way. Sweeney came out, and she had some things to say about Madam Web. And this is it right here.
You are Euphoria.
Okay. This is Sweeney. She hosted Saturday Night Live. Was it last Saturday? Was it last Saturday? Yeah, last Saturday. And here she is. She's quite lovely, quite an attractive young lady. And she was in Madam Web. And I did make a Madam Web review. If you want to see me make fun of Madam Web, go check that out. It's on the channel. Ugly review. Like, share, subscribe. And this is what she had to say on the Saturday Night Live monologue.
You might have seen me in Anyone But You or Euphoria. You definitely did not see me in Madam Web. You might have seen me in anyone
more
but you
time.
or Euphoria. You definitely did not see me in Madam Web.
That's funny. That's good. That's good. It's good to see actors, actresses, people from Hollywood have a sense of humor about shit. Lean into it, right? This is the opposite of the DEI crowd. This is the opposite, right? The DEI crowd wants to fight the fans at every turn, all cost. This is leaning into it and saying, yeah, I get it. It sucked. The product sucked. I get it. Let's make fun of it together. That's good. That's endearing. It's charming. Hard to believe, but that makes her even more attractive. It's true. That's good stuff. And she's not the only one. Madam Web's Dakota Johnson slams AI, says audiences are extremely smart. Never thought you'd hear someone from Hollywood say that, did you? Madam Web this is on The Bleeding Fool, by the way, written by Karina Smith. Madam Web star Dakota Johnson is expressing her frustration with Hollywood's increasing reliance on artificial intelligence and its trend of creating movies by committee, as her recent superhero film faces criticism and struggles at the box office. This is leaning into the DEI as well. We're getting there. Johnson's latest Marvel Comics-based Spider-Man without a Spider-Man for Sony has underperformed significantly, to say the least. In its first 2 days in theaters, it failed to surpass $10 million in box office revenue, a disappointing result for a film with a Boy, it had a $150 million budget. Holy shit. Oh my God. In my review, I reported it had an $80 million budget, because that's what they had released at the time. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Even after a week in theaters, it did not reach the $30 million mark. Weeks later, it has not surpassed $100 million, making a financial loss. You think? The poor box office performance, okay, is one of the worst of all time. Right. In an interview with Bustle, hold on a second, guys. I'm going to need a clean. Oh, I'm good. I think. In an interview with Bustle, Johnson expressed her reluctance to participate in fantasy movies like this in the future. She is disheartened by the outcome of the film and appears to have lost interest in the superhero genre altogether. I had never done anything like it before. I probably will never do anything like it again, because I don't make sense in that world. Adding that it was a real learning experience. And of course, it's not nice to be part of something that's ripped to shreds, but I can't say that I don't understand. The actress also commented about how Hollywood has changed the way it makes movies, slamming the growing use of AI in the process. And if you watched this movie, it was not too far-fetched to believe that AI worked a lot in this movie. It's so hard to get movies made, and in these big movies that get made, and it's even starting to happen with the little ones, which is really what's really freaking me out. Decisions are being made by committees, and art does not do well when it's made by committee. DEI, right? Rather than having some creatives, rather than having one creative with the vision, or maybe a team, 2 or 3 people, guys, gals, I don't know, Peter Jackson and Philippa Boykins and Fran Walsh. Can you imagine if Peter Jackson and Philippa Boykins and Fran Walsh had to go through a DEI committee before making Lord of the Rings? Can you fucking imagine? Rather than allowing creatives with a clear vision do their thing, work their magic, now you have to, like what she said, you have to do creative by committee. Let's go on. This is Hollywood's gonna, we'll get there. Hold on a second. Films are made by a filmmaker and a team of artists around them. You cannot make art based on numbers and algorithms. Yes. She said, my feeling has been for a long time that audiences are extremely smart, and executives have started to believe that they're not. Audiences will always be able to sniff out bullshit. Even if films start to be made with AI, humans aren't going to fucking want to see those. It's so wonderful to hear her say that. It's so endearing. The film business is undoubtedly exploring AI, but thus far, full films haven't been produced by AI. But many people in Hollywood believe it's only a matter of time. Yeah, it is. It's only a matter of time. Now, I don't think AI is going to take every single job in Hollywood. Because, like what she said, people don't want to see something that's made entirely AI. Part of the magic of the movie experience is that we know that people made this, right? Even in the back of our mind, we know that someone, a creative human being, made this, and it's incredible. That's part of the experience. It's wonderful to hear anyone from Hollywood saying this. And it just makes me like these two even more. She's right. She's 100% right. You cannot make art by committee, especially a diversity and inclusion committee, because art has to be dangerous. Art has to be free. Freedom is dangerous. You have to be challenged. You must have an open mind, and you must have the freedom to offend, because being offended challenges you. And by being challenged, we grow and we build character and we learn. We learn how to handle different situations, and we learn how to look at things from different angles, right? Different perspectives. By challenging our thought, by being offended, or you're never going to grow. You're never going to learn anything new. You want to explore the world, right? You want to go out there and if you want to actually go out there and experience real diversity and experience all of the things that the world, all of the races, religions, and cultures and everything that the world has to offer, well, you're going to be offended. Because all of those cultures out there in the world are not going to change just for you. It's sad that Western culture is doing so. We're fighting back, and we're starting to see a big turn here. But if you think all of these ancient cultures are going to change for your woke bullshit, my God, you are retarded. You have no idea what you're talking about. And you have no experience because you haven't left your San Francisco bubble. You haven't left your Hollywood bubble. You've been in your echo chamber of Twitter the entire time. You have no real life experience whatsoever because you are afraid to be challenged. You are afraid of being offended. You're weak. You are. But it doesn't, and part of what I'm going into, let me get into it. Hold on. Part of where we're going here. I know, I have an odd manner of speaking. I understand. But part of what she's talking about, and part of what I'm talking about is, she's saying the AI and the committee, right? It's the antithesis of creativity. Gina Davis unveils partnership with Disney to spell check scripts for gender bias. Oh. You are now going to have AI scanning your homework for equality. Aren't you excited? My God. Gina Davis, the Oscar-winning actress, and the tireless advocate for female representation on screen. Yeah, because we don't have enough women on screen these days. Touched down Thursday in New Zealand to deliver the closing keynote speech at the country's pioneering power of... Listen to the title of this. Deliver the closing keynote speech at the country's pioneering Power of Inclusion Summit, which was held in downtown Auckland. I need a drink. God damn it. Ugh. I stopped drinking liquor and alcohol. It's been over a year. I'm not going to start again. Let's see here. Gina Davis, the Oscar. This is the Hollywood Reporter, by the way, by Patrick Brisky. Gina Davis, the Oscar-winning actor and tireless advocate for female representation on screen, touched down Thursday in New Zealand to deliver the closing keynote speech at the country's pioneering Power of Inclusion Summit, which was held in downtown Auckland. Central to Davis's presentation was the revelation that her Gina Davis Institute on Gender in Media has partnered with Walt Disney Studios, to deploy a new digital tool that uses AI technology to assess film and television scripts for gender bias. Did you hear what I said? Named GDIQ, spell check for bias. I guarantee every single person who has to use this in their job is going, God damn it, IQ. I guarantee it. The new tool leverages patented machine learning technology developed at the University of Southern California, Viterbi School of Engineering to rapidly analyze the text of a script to determine its number of male and female characters and whether they are representative of the real population at large. The technology also can discern the number of characters who are people of color, LGBTQI, possess disabilities, or belong to other groups typically underrepresented and failed by Hollywood storytelling. So what happens if you were going to make Schindler's List? What if you were going to make the original show Vikings, the first one, not the second woke one? Well, that's a good example right there, isn't it? You have the first Vikings before this bullshit, and then you have the second Vikings, which went through the Gina Davis AI goddamn spell check. I don't think it really did, but something similar. Imagine Schindler's List going through this. Just think about that. Steven Spielberg takes his script to the Gina Davis Institute, the goddamn Institute for Spell Check Bias. He says, Gina, I need you to see if this is included. I need you to do something with this. And I don't know how Steven Spielberg talked. And it says, oh, you need more black lesbians as Nazis. You need more South Americans being thrown into camps. You don't have enough Gestapo in wheelchairs. The Führer should be a woman. Think about it. Is that where we're going? Is that what would happen? Of course not. We saw what happened with Google Gemini AI. As soon as it started doing something that they didn't like, oh shit, we can't say that black people were Nazis, because black people weren't. This shit has gotten so out of control. Oh, let's keep moving. I'm very proud to announce we have a brand new partnership with Walt Disney Studios. Shit, there's your first mistake. Using spell check for bias, David said on stage. They are our pilot partners, and we're going to collaborate with Disney over the next year using this tool to help their decision-making, identify opportunities to increase diversity and inclusion in the manuscripts that they receive. We're very excited about the possibilities with this new technology, and we encourage everybody to get in touch with us and give it a try. No. Think how bad Disney's going to be. Disney is already an absolute unmitigated disaster. And now they're going to be getting put through these paces. Can you fucking imagine? Along with rapidly tallying the genders and ethnicities of characters, why does it matter? See, it's not only they're counting. It's like they are turning They are turning people of color and LGBTQ and women and all the... They're turning you into a number. You know how I was just talking about Schindler's List, and they had numbers or a star or something like that? Well, now they're labeling people. Is that not what they're doing? Dividing people into groups, counting them up, making sure we have prerequisite, well-defined numbers of segregated individuals. Is that not what they're doing? I think it is. Davis says the goal is not to shame and blame screen creators, but rather to reveal the unconscious bias that commonly manifests in even the most well-meaning screenwriters' work. Interesting you should say unconscious bias. I wonder which one of us has the unconscious bias. You seem to care a hell of a lot more about race and gender and sexuality than I do. I give a fuck. You cared so much that you made an entire goddamn AI program to make sure that you were counting the number of colored people and the number of gay people and the number of women. I wonder which one of us has an unconscious bias. With the data in hand, informed adjustments can be made to scripts so that they don't perpetuate stereotypes and their pernicious real-world effects. You're perpetuating the stereotype of a bigot. The Spell Check for Bias initiative is an extension of the work Davis has been doing for more than 15 years. Good God. Jesus. Let's just keep going. Has since commissioned scores of... I've gotten to play lots of cool parts. I'm like, okay, all right. The Davis Institute's mantra is, if girls see it, they can be it. Tells you everything you need to know. That's not true, by the way. I can't be anything that I see. I can't be a woman. I can't be a mother. I probably can't be an astronaut. I doubt I can be president. I could do a better job, but I doubt I'm going to get there. God, let me see. Let's just cut through this a little bit. Real-world behavior with women. Wait, organization has commissioned numerous studies showing how screen representations influence real-world behavior of both women and men. Oh, okay. One of the actress's favorite examples is the way the number of girls taking up competitive archery more than doubled shortly after the simultaneous release of The Hunger Games and Pixar's Brave. Okay, so knowing that right there, right? They admit that people are influenced by story, and that is so extremely important. They know that. They know that people are heavily influenced by the art, heavy air quotes. This isn't art. But it can be art. Dune, part 2 is art. They know that people are heavily influenced by this stuff, right? They're trying to force behaviors a la Larry Fink and BlackRock. It's the exact same thing, right? BlackRock has their grubby little fingers, their bigoted little fingers in all of this. They are trying to force behaviors. They are modifying society in the way they see fit. And they're doing so through art and culture and education and now politics and everything, but we're focusing on this right now. And they know it. So they're trying to influence people to do all of this woke, fucked up shit. And when people fight back and saying, no, we don't like this, like, oh, you're a bigot. It's like, okay, I'll just walk away and not give you my money anymore. Davis acknowledged the slow-changing nature of gender imbalance in the real world, nowhere more so than the film industry, where last year just 8% of the top 250 films were directed by women. Nearly every sector of our society has a huge gender disparity, particularly in leadership positions. Notice how they only ever want leadership positions, right? They only want the big, important positions that pay lots of money. I was watching there was a Joe Rogan clip the other day of a guy who lived at the bottom of the ocean for 10 weeks doing research. He lived at the bottom of the ocean for 10 weeks, where when he wanted to take a shit, he actually had to swim out to the ocean floor and into a separate pod where you swim up, do your business, and then swim back to your home base. I don't see a whole lot of women signing up for that shit. I don't see a whole lot of women signing up to be garbage people.
People. We gotta say people because we have to be gender fluid and accepting. Yay!
Jeez. How long is it going to take to correct that? To mold society in my image. Look at that. No matter how hard we work, we can't snap our fingers and suddenly half the corporate boards are women. Why should they be? Did you fucking earn it? If the answer's no, then get the fuck out. But here's my theory of change. Oh boy. There's one category of gross gender inequality where the underrepresentation of women can be fixed absolutely overnight, and it's on screen. What if the character's not written for a woman? See, there you go right there. Let's say, again, say Peter Jackson and Philippa Boykins and Fran Walsh. They bring in the Lord of the Rings script, and it analyzes and does all its bullshit. The goddamn AI analyzes and does all its stupid goddamn bullshit. And then it says, you need to make Aragorn a woman. Because we need more representation. Then what? Then Lord of the Rings is absolutely fucked. Sam and Frodo have to be gay. No, they don't. You're a weirdo. This is everything they're doing right now is the antithesis of creativity. And I got to tell you, if this is the way Hollywood is actually going to go, if this is the way it's going to go, Hollywood is dead. But that might be a wonderful, beautiful thing. Hollywood dying could be great. Hollywood is a cesspool of shit. Hollywood is a cesspool of drugs and pedophilia and child sex trafficking, and Hollywood is just a den of shit. So if Hollywood collapses, that might be a great thing. It will not only get rid of all of that bullshit, well, it will decentralize some of that bullshit. Unfortunately, that evil doesn't go away. We have to fight that evil in many other different ways. But this is a good way of starting, of fighting some evil, right? Pushing back against all of this woke crap. The other thing it will do, it will allow independent creators to thrive, right? You see the Eric Julys of the world. You see, Shadiversity and everything. You see Critical Drinker, who just came out with this trailer for his movie, for his short film that's coming out for Ryan Drake. All of these independents can start creating, right? And even Stuckers, old Chris Stuckers. Chris Stuckman's making, what, Shelby Oaks, is it? Boy, I haven't commented on Chris Stuckman yet. Oh man, that's a whole nother can of worms. If anyone wants me to comment and talk about Chris Stuckman, let me know. I don't even. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Sorry, I digress. Anyway, but all of these independent creators are beginning to thrive. Hell, Eric Julys made millions of dollars. And I have the first couple of ISOMs. It's pretty good. I'm not a comic book guy. I was never a big comic book collector, but I'm just trying to support independent creators. It's pretty good. I really like the art. I think I'm going to order the Yara and everything. But this is the opportunity, right? This is our chance. It's not a chance we really asked for, but this is our opportunity to seize the day. Carpe D's nuts. We have to. It's our time to do this, right? We have to take up this mantle. We are the next in line. These people have failed. They don't believe in story. They don't believe in journey. They don't believe in character. They don't believe in the magic of story. Like we talked about at the beginning with Akira Toriyama. I want to make sure I get his name right. With Akira Toriyama and how many people he touched with his story, his creativity, right? What that means. Well, these people in Hollywood now, they have completely lost the plot, and that is completely gone now, right? And so if we want this back, if we want the stories to continue, if we want stuff that we can share with our children and our friends and our family, and that they can pass on to their children and so on and so forth down the road, it is our responsibility, right? We kind of got lulled into sleep. We kind of got lulled into apathy where we're like, yeah, Hollywood will take care of it. Well, now we got to take care of it. Right? And independent creators have always been out there doing their thing. People making their own comics, people writing their own stories. Independent film has always been has been very big. And it's going to get bigger, and we need it to get bigger. This is actually kind of a duty. Story, all of human history is one big story. Right? All of human history is just one big story. The Bible is a big story. Lord of the Rings is a big story. Every religion is a big story, right? These are all great big journeys with lessons for life. You know, as long as we've been around, as long as human beings could communicate, we've been gathering around campfires, telling stories, teaching people, sharing, coming together, having fun. Maybe it's a warning. But without stories, where do we go? I feel we would be a bit aimless, rudderless, right? We wouldn't have direction. Without a story of who we are, or where we came from, or where we might be going, or what our possibilities are, I feel we're a bit rudderless and just adrift out at sea, and that we're lost. You know, story, I'll wrap it up here pretty quick, but story, tradition, gives us an anchor. It gives us roots. It gives us something to hold on to, right? Take Lord of the Rings. I reference it quite a bit, but for good reason. Lord of the Rings is a story about friendship and hope and good versus evil and always fighting against death, right? Fighting against that evil, not being afraid, doing what is right, no matter what it costs, no matter the stakes. A fellowship, doing what is right. The lessons and the morals and the characters of Lord of the Rings. It gives them something to hold on to. It gives them something to strive for, right? When we see someone like Aragorn, when we see a good king, we think, well, I should be like a good king. I should do that. When we see Samwise, we think, not only do I want a friend like Sam, I should be more like Sam, right? I should always be helping my friends, no matter what. Help my friends get through thick and thin. That's what stories do for us. They bring us together, they share lessons, and they share possibilities. And they help us understand who we are a little bit better. And they help us build ourselves a little bit more. And without them, I just feel we are adrift. Don't you feel that way? It's a little more hollow. Can you imagine if you didn't have stories? How empty that would feel? How empty that would be? No. So we have to take this up. It is our responsibility to not go quietly into that good night. Good sirs and ma'ams. Don't do it. Don't give up. Don't let them do this. We're laughing at them now, right? The thing is, the people who are doing this, I believe they would just as soon press the button and destroy everything before they cede control. So maybe we'll just have to create our own institutions. We'll have to build everything all over again. And that's fine, because we can. We are more than capable. Remember, we don't need them. They need us. They need us. We don't need them. They need us for everything. And if we stick together and we work together, we can do anything we want. And we don't need their permission. We don't need their blessing. We don't need them. They need us. It's always been that way. We've just been a little brainwashed. But it's starting to wear off. We need stories. So, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. I got some stuff I got to go do and everything, and I'm sure you do too. But if you enjoyed this stream, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like, the share, the subscribe, and everything. My last video that came out was Madam Web. That was about 2 weeks ago. Go check it out. It was pretty good. It was all right. Hit like, share, subscribe. And I'm working on a Dune Part 2 review right now. It's going to be a spoiler-free review, but it's going to be a pretty thorough review in terms of technical stuff and acting and directing and stuff. So that should be coming out probably middle of next week. And I'm almost done with the script on that. And then I think the next video I'm going to do is going to be for the American Society of Magical Negroes. That'll be a real hoot. My God. So we're going to do that. And then, of course, my Mask of Zorro. Look, here's how the channel's going to operate moving forward. I'm going to do new releases because that's what people want to see, and I want to see new releases, and that's usually what's popular. But also on the side, I'm going to do some passion projects. Like I'm working on Mask of Zorro right now. That one's going to be like an hour and a half. It's going to be like an hour and a half video, so that's going to take a little more work, and some of the files got corrupted, and I had to go back and do stuff. And, of course, you know, our dog passed away and all that stuff. So, again, rest in peace, Cato. We love you so much. Can't wait to see you again, buddy. But that's basically how the channel is going to be moving forward. I'm going to start to get back into the live streams every Saturday morning, and it might be more like this, 6:30 to 8:30. I don't know. I'll send out an announcement or something. But check me out, guys, on sign up, subscribe, sign up. What the fuck is he saying? I don't know. Jesus. Subscribe. Check me out. I'm on Rumble. I do have a Twitter account where I don't know, post crazy shit. And I think that's all we're going to do for today, guys. It's been a pretty good stream. Had a good time. Glad I got organized. And sorry if I was a little late. I was late, and I apologize. I hope that I can give you guys some good content, and I support engagement, so feel free to comment and do all that stuff, guys. But until then, I'm rambling, and I won't keep you. And, yeah, until next time, guys, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And as I was saying before, never, ever stop telling stories. Ever. Okay? I'll see you guys. Take care.